Okay, I think we're all here. Well, first of all, welcome everybody to this Jamaica Tourist Board webinar and update, which is going to be covering responsible travel, responsible tourism, but we also hope to give you an update on where we are now that our border is open, and also give you an update on the COVID situation in Jamaica. So welcome again. My name is Terence Lewis. I'm the District Sales Manager with the Jamaica Tourist Board. And on the webinar, I have Donovan Donaldson and Shanika Bennett. Those of you who know them, they're here. If you want to say hello or ask a question at the end, they're on hand to answer questions as well. So let's move straight on into responsible travel, Jamaica, and what it's all about. As you can see from the pictures here, it's about the experience. But let me give you a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about today. First, we're going to talk about A to Z of responsible travel, what it is, what your clients expect. We're going to give you an update on what Jamaica is doing at the moment, what are the next steps, and what we're going to be sharing with you shortly. How to get there, for those who are new, some information about our resorts and how they offer this responsible tourism experience, or attractions as well, and introduce a new tour operator who is doing something quite special in this field, and then tell you a little bit about the usual rewards, what the tourist board is here doing for you in this difficult time and in the future. You see a spinning pineapple there in your right-hand corner. That is because we're doing a poll today. We're going to be asking you some questions to help us understand where you are with your business, with your expectations, and where your clients are. So when you see the pineapple, it means there's going to be a poll. So off we go. The language of responsible travel is quite varied, but it's all about authenticity, experiential, community, gratitude, sustainability, trustworthiness, and also value. This webinar is going to be available on Facebook, so if you want to come back and see the A to Z of responsible travel, here are some of the buzzwords, but we're going to move right on in. What is responsible travel? Well, responsible travel and tourism is about the holiday maker using their travel spending to empower local lives in a destination in exchange for a personally rewarding experience. We all go on holiday. Some people just go to get away from it all, but some people take a very responsible choice about where they go, what they do, and how they do it. It can be defined as initiatives that engage and inspire people through skills training, sports, health initiatives, which help to tackle complex social issues head on, and also to strengthen communities that visitors can engage with. So it's about more than just fly and flop. It's definitely about engagement. And these tourism activities are carried out in such a way that the benefits are maximized and the impacts are negative and minimized. So what's the client looking for? And after we go through this slide, we're going to ask you to do the first poll. Well, they want more mindful travel experiences. And that's just not about their mental state. It's about thoughtfulness. They want recognized sustainable measures in place on the destination, in the resort, or with the activity that they're doing. And positive initiatives towards the climate, society, and sustainability. And now, more than ever, they want advice from informed sources. You, the travel agent, are now their point of contact for the best and most up-to-date information about destinations going forward. And then they want destinations and companies that care about responsible travel. And Jamaica certainly is one of those destinations. And for some, it's about charity, but more than ever, they want information about health and safety. So let's go into our very first poll before we start telling you about what's happening with Jamaica and post-COVID resilience. This poll is, when the lockdown is lifted, how soon do you think your clients will consider traveling internationally? So we're going to ask you to select between one of these four options. I'm going to launch the poll now, and there you go. If you can indicate which of these you think that would be great. Okay. Well, most of you are giving us some feedback. We do appreciate it. It always helps to know what our agents are saying and what their customers are thinking. Thank you very much. What we're going to do is share the results with you with email after the presentation that gives you more information about what's happening with Jamaica now that Jamaica is open for business. But to summarize, about half of you think within 3 to 4 months. So on to the post-COVID situation in Jamaica. Well, Jamaica's borders are now open. They've reopened yesterday, but they opened to international travelers on the 15th of June. Currently, it's just for the repatriation of Jamaican nationals who are overseas. Many, many thousands were stuck in various foreign countries. The destination is now in risk mitigation, which means that we've dealt with the COVID situation very well, and we're moving on to making sure that we're ready and compliance is put in place to make sure that Jamaica is COVID secure destination. Destination assurance protocols, a complete outline of what is being done and what the visitor's experience will be like, will be shared with the industry, with you, our partners, later this week. It's going to help visitors guide their behavior and educate them about the requirements for travel to Jamaica. It will include guidance on planning their trip, most visitor scenarios, say for instance going on attractions, and it will help guests feel safe and secure about the visitor experience. There's extensive on-island training taking place at the moment, and this is being done to ensure that everybody who's a stakeholder, who's in the tourism industry, understands how to ensure that risk is managed. I think we all realize that life has to go on. COVID will be around for a while. So it's about making sure that all measures are taken to ensure that the risk is reduced to an absolute minimum. Jamaica will be COVID secure. You can have that assurance in selling it going forward that clients going to Jamaica will be secure. Most hotels already have protocols that they're sharing. We've put together a little landing page. We will share this with you after, and it will help you to understand what the hotels are doing individually. So,
we have another poll.
For those of you who are new to Jamaica, we're going to do a poll here now just to see what you think about when the lockdown orders are lifted and before borders are open. How soon will you, the travel agent, consider traveling internationally? So let us know, how soon will you be prepared to travel once borders are lifted and it's safe to do so? Okay, we're getting quite close to almost everybody saying what their thoughts are. Okay, well, 38% of you say within 3 to 4 months, and 43 of you say between 1 to 2 months. So that's certainly encouraging. So let's go back to where is Jamaica. For those of you who are new, Jamaica is smack bang in the middle of the Caribbean. Getting there is quite easy. It's just a 10-hour flight from London, Birmingham, or Manchester. We're surrounded by the Caribbean Sea, which makes it an ideal destination for people looking for warm weather, beautiful beaches, and tropical scenery and warm, friendly people. We have 5 distinct resort areas: Montego Bay, Ocho Rios, NEGRIL, Port Antonio, Kingston, and the South Coast. That should be 6. Torrance messing around with the slides. Here's the map of the island. You can see where all the resorts are. There's NEGRIL, Montego Bay, Falmouth, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio, and Kingston on the South Coast. We also have 5 cruise ship areas in Montego Bay, Falmouth, Ocho Rios, Port Antonio, and Kingston. But where is there to stay? Again, for those of you who are new, let's tell you a little bit about where there is in Jamaica to stay. Lots of international hotel chains: Secrets, Rio, Iberostar, Royalton, Sandals. The list goes on. This is just a snapshot of the places to stay. Today, I'm going to highlight a couple of hotels that offers something quite special from a responsible traveler's point of view. But many hotels make every effort to offer a green experience, an engaged experience, and if you want to have a more responsible experience that is outside of resort, there are tour operators that can make those arrangements for you as well. So let's go to the next poll. This one now is for, we're making you work hard today. What percentage of your Jamaica business has canceled? Are you able to share that with us, even if it's something that you're taking from the top of your head? Do you know whether it's up to 25%? Is it between 25 and 50%? Is it between 50 and 75%? Or is it over 75%? We're really curious to know what sort of impact there's been on your business to Jamaica as a result of the current situation that we're all going through. Okay, well, not everybody is sharing, but for those of you who are, we've got about half of you giving your information at the moment, and it looks as though about a half of you say up to 25%. A much smaller percentage say 26 to 50, and about 20% say over 75%. Thank you very much for sharing that information. Let's move on to the next resort area. Montego Bay. Well, Montego Bay is our complete resort. It's the home of Sangster. It's only 10 to 30 minutes for most hotels from the airport. And in Montego Bay, there's one of the best responsible tourism experiences on the island. It's the Rastafarian Indigenous Village, where you can go and immerse yourself in the Rastafarian culture and get a real sense of what it means to be Rastafari. Apart from that experience, there's lots of interactions with shops and attractions that are within a 5-mile radius. But in Montego Bay, the Travel Foundation have set up a very, very interesting project for small businesses. And what it is about is that it's created a partnership with our tourism craft market sector, which has allowed 150 entrepreneurs and small businesses across Jamaica, but primarily in Montego Bay, to get support, practical support and finance to help create small businesses. They call it Big Up Small Business, and it's been very successful in and around the Montego Bay area, especially at the Bay Harbor Street Craft Market. And we certainly think that if somebody is going to Jamaica and they want to go to a place to do shopping where you can get an experience and know that whatever you spend, whatever you do in that area is going to be highly rewarding, this is one of the initiatives that you could be considering in the Montego Bay area. Onto NEGRIL, we call it our capital of casual. The hotels here are only about an hour and a half away from Montego Bay. We all know there's a beautiful 7-mile beach here and a wide range of accommodation, but there's also a stunning ecosystem here. The NEGRIL Morass and the Royal Palm Reserve are there for those who want to reconnect with nature. It's just on the doorstep of all the hotels, and many of the hotels in and around the NEGRIL area are responsible. They're small, they're owner operated, and we want to tell you a little bit about 2 of the initiatives in the NEGRIL area. The Rock House have a foundation where they focus more on modernizing local schools, giving them the opportunity to get technology and meals for the young children. And by staying in the Rock House Hotel and contributing to the foundation before, after, or while you're there, you are helping the local community, the young children of the NEGRIL area, to get the best access to education in that area. Sandals, big hotel chain, but a lot of responsible tourism initiatives. And one of theirs in and around the Montego Bay, NEGRIL area, I beg your pardon, is beach maintenance. And quite often their teams, volunteers, staff, as well as guests go out and do beach maintenance. Ocho Rios is our centerpiece. It's, again, about 90 minutes from the Montego Bay Airport and Kingston Airport. There's lots of attractions there, 30 of them within a 10-mile radius. It's great for families, but really, really good because of all of the water and the nature for those who want an eco experience. Jamaica Inn, one of our Jamaica luxury cluster, have a fantastic sustainability program called the Jamaica Inn Foundation. It deals primarily with the White River Fish Sanctuary, which allows the fishermen in the area to ensure that where the young fish breed and grow just off the coast of the river estuary is properly maintained, and it allows them to ensure that their livelihoods will be able to carry on for many, many years to come. They also have a turtle program where they allow guests to go off property with specialists in the area to see and help release turtles at the times of the year where the turtle release programs are in place. These are all things that give people the chance to experience something that is, in many respects, helping nature, helping conservation, and can all be done with all of the new protocols and parameters now of physical distancing that's required. I think Jamaica is going to do the physical distancing very well, but social distancing, this idea of not having any personal interaction, is going to be difficult because the Jamaicans are friendly. So it's going to be very sociable, but just with the physical distance in place. So onto our attractions. I know some of you want to hear a little bit about what the attractions are like, how socially responsible, how responsible the tourism activity are they? Well, let's start with the number, 175 of them across the island, and many of them are able to offer some sort of sustainable measures, which I'm going to try and explain. Our main attraction on the island is the Duns River Waterfalls, and it's owned by the government of Jamaica and run by the Urban Development Corporation. It helps local people across the Ocho Rios area, and at the moment, in order to ensure that this attraction is there for us in years to come, there's a lot of maintenance being done where the path being taken is limited so that the limestone can regenerate. It is a living thing. The Mystic Mountain is an attraction that's been happening in the Ocho Rios area for nearly 10 years now. They've introduced a new attraction called the Ragamuffin, bottom right. They have had to replant several hundred trees because the Sky Explorer, which takes you from their entrance up to the base where all the activities are, had to be cut into the rainforest. So as a result, they've gone about putting back hundreds and hundreds of trees into the rainforest to mitigate against the trees that were the very limited number that were taken down in building this wonderful attraction. If people want to do something that helps local cooperatives, the rafting industry in Jamaica is often run by cooperatives, a group of people who work together to ensure that the benefits of tourism are shared out amongst the community. And rafting across the island is also done in a very sustainable way, even though the bamboo has to be cut down to make the rafts. Many of the raft captains ensure that bamboo is replanted in other areas so that you can have more bamboo in future to make rafts. Bamboo grows very, very quickly. It's the fastest growing grass. So this is one of the things that we do to make rafting sustainable. And an image there of what the bamboo rafts look like. Bob Marley, well, Bob Marley's museum is part of the Bob Marley Foundation, and they offer ministries, the Breadbasket Ministry, where young people who come to Jamaica and want to experience interests that are shared by young people, the Bob Marley Foundation can arrange for groups to be hosted locally or for them to come and do things around the foundation that are Bob Marley inspired or Bob Marley or music focused. So the Bob Marley Foundation is another one of our responsible tourism initiatives on the island that give people an insight into the culture of Jamaica. The Blue Mountains, if you've been to Jamaica and not been to the Blue Mountains, it is an absolute must. This is our eco paradise, but it's also one of our taste paradise. Going up to the coffee plantations is a very authentic experience. You get up into the countryside of Jamaica, you meet people who are completely genuine, and you get to taste the best coffee in the world. Much of it is organically grown, and I feel that this is one of the most responsible tourism initiatives on the island, where you can get off the beaten track, go up into an area where there's no mass tourism, and experience something that is quite unique. And then Port Royal. I don't know how many of you have heard of Port Royal, or if you have, you've only heard of it in the films. Well, Port Royal is an actual city, and it's just south of our capital, Kingston, and just in January this year, it welcomed its first cruise ship. They have a community tourism project based there where the brethren, who are the people who live in the Port Royal area, have been earmarked to benefit from the business that will come from cruise shipping. And for people who are looking at cruising around the Caribbean and wanting to call into a port where there's a really responsible tourism initiative, Port Royal is one to consider. I can see people have raised their hands. I will come back to that shortly. The Black River Swamp Safari on the south coast of the island is where we do a tour up the Black River where you get to see Jamaica's crocodiles. And the crocodiles are local, endemic to Jamaica, and the companies that run these tours to give you the chance to see the nature and the wildlife also have conservation programs where they take the eggs, which often get eaten in the wild, and hatch the young crocodiles and then return them to the swamp, which is a wonderful way of making an excursion and activity that also has a conservation benefit as well. Very responsible tourism in that regard. Karen, I can see you raising your hand and we're going to come to you shortly. And then our Appleton Estate Rum Factory Tour, which is on the south coast as well, where you get to hear and see how rum is made, taste it as well. Just this year, the Appleton parent company, J. Ray and Nephew, their foundation, took their capacity for making rum to do something really responsible. They were part of Jamaica's COVID-19 response. They turned the whole manufacturing equipment for the rum making process into making hand sanitizer to ensure that people across Jamaica had no issue in getting hand sanitizer, and they gave this away to public institutions that needed it. So again, an attraction, business, doing something that's very much about helping society. And then the last thing I wanted to say about responsible tourism is that there's a new travel company called Charitable Travel, set up and run by Melissa Tilling, who used to be with Funway, and they are offering holidays around the world where if a client books a holiday to a destination, they will give half of the commission to a charity locally or that gives to that destination. And they're going to be working with one in Jamaica called the Jamaica Basic School Foundation. I see here we've got our poll going again. We're going to go for the next poll. It says what? No, that's not it. Poll number 4. What months do you currently have clients booked to travel to Jamaica once the borders are open? So we have July, August, September, October, November, December 2021. So what months do you currently have clients booked to travel to Jamaica once the borders are open? It's a multiple choice question. We see a few of you coming in and bringing answers, some in July, some in August, some in September, but the vast majority, 90%, are saying it's 2021. Yeah, about half of you have responded. I'll give it a couple more seconds to see if anybody else wants to contribute. So a very small percentage, 12% say July, but the majority, nearly 90%, say 2021. Thank you again for participating in our poll. And that's really it about the charitable part of it. Most of you know that we have this amazing reward program called Jamaica Rewards, where we provide agents with a learn and earn facility where you can do webinars, light learning. We give rewards for bookings that you make, and we offer fam trips as well. It's called Sell It and Seed, and hopefully we will be able to share that with you again once everything is back up and running. But the last poll of the day now, it's going to be when travel quarantines are lifted and borders are open, how soon will you, the travel professional, be willing to go on a fam trip to Jamaica? Is it immediately, within a month or two, within 3 to 4 months, within 5 to 6 months? So that's what the question of the day. When will you be prepared to come to Jamaica to see how all these new normals are operating, what your clients can expect, and what this possibly new set of protocols, how it influences the experience for visitors. Well, 41% of you say you're ready to go. I can imagine you're edging to get out of the UK at the moment, and similar numbers for the three other categories. So thank you so much for sharing that information with us. And then on to our last little bit of information for everybody. We are running a virtual farm trip next week. It's a novel way of sharing with people who have been and want a reminder, or those who've never been before, an experience that lasts a couple of days, but it's just for a half of an hour each day. So you're going to be joining a group, joining your host Donovan and Shanika, going on a virtual farm trip. If you want to sign up, this information will be in the email we'll send you after the webinar, but it's really going to be fun. It's going to be innovative, and we hope some of you will be able to join us. We're on social, as you know, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and that's it for today. Thank you very much. I'm going to go to questions now and see if there are any questions. Donovan and Shanika, are you here?
We're here. Karen, she raised her hand in error, but we had Donna Brooks as well. Sorry, Donna Joseph.
Okay.
Had a question. We have a question from Robert. Any news on when British Airways or Virgin Atlantic returning to the island?
Well, is that Robert from Caribbean? If not, well, yeah. Robert, what we know so far, Robert, is that Virgin Atlantic have posted dates in October for their Montego Bay flights departing Heathrow. That's the confirmation that we have, that Virgin will start to operate to Montego Bay in October from London Heathrow. British Airways have not confirmed what their plans are yet, but once we know, we will be sharing them with our travel agent partners. But it's difficult to make any guesstimates, because as we've been sharing with you today, the border only opens on the 15th. So it'll give our partners, airlines and tour operators, some time to plan what their next steps are going to be. But we will be ready for them. We will be ready for your customers. And we hope that it will be a speedy resumption of the British Airways service and other services from London, Birmingham and Manchester.
We also have a request from Anonymous. If we have images of tourist hotels that we can use on our sites, I would suggest you contact us at mail@visitjamaica.com, and we can put you in touch with the hotels which you may need. Other requests came in for airline information, which you have answered. Restrictions, what restrictions will be placed on people arriving in Jamaica? That was another question, Torrance.
Okay, well, let me tackle that one, because what I can tell you, for those of you who are on the call, on the webinar, the Jamaican visitor protocols are ready. It's something that I know we'll be able to share visually and in detail within the next couple of days, it may be sooner. And this, as I mentioned earlier, will give complete guidance about what people should expect in terms of preparing to travel to Jamaica in advance. What I can tell you is that it's going to be as online and contactless as possible, the whole arrival and check-in process. And there will not be, as far as we have been told, any quarantining of visitors arriving in Jamaica.
I think that should have answered the other question. Do you know if passengers get tested for COVID on arrival?
No, there will be temperature checks. The standard industry and tourism protocol seems to be that there will be temperature checks on arrival in airports. and some hotels may do a further check as well. But what I do know is that, like in other countries, other major resort destinations, face coverings, face masks are going to be asked of visitors. They're not mandatory, or the laws have not been changed to make it mandatory, but good responsible travelers will understand that for their safety, for the safety of their fellow travelers and other holiday makers, it is advisable to wear a face mask when you are in spaces where other people are. So these will all be detailed in the guidance we're going to be sending out, and it is in a picture flow chart which starts at planning right through to departure, and it will help in a very, very clear and systematic way help you and help the client understand what traveling to Jamaica will require of them in terms of providing the answers to the questionnaire before they travel. This is one of the things that I know will be a part of the process in traveling to Jamaica. You will have to give some information before you arrive, and then right through until when you get into your transportation, what those protocols will be, and when you visit attractions, how the attractions will operate as well. I think Jamaica has put together a very good, internationally recognized set of protocols, and it's about resilience of tourism. We are a tourism dependent country. We've had to make sure that visitor experience, visitor security, and visitor satisfaction remain paramount as we move forward. Any more questions there, Donovan?
That's it. No more questions have come in. Those are all the questions that have come in.
Okay, well, we've been trying to keep these webinars to as short as possible because we know everybody has busy evenings, but thank you so much. We have your details. You will be the very lucky first to receive the update on Jamaica reopening and what it looks like, what the protocols are, and the documentation going forward. So for those of you who have joined today, you can look out for that over the next day or so. Thank you again. Responsible travel is going to be something that everybody is going to be looking for. I think people want to go to places now where they know it's meaningful, where they can get space, where they can have an impact on the destination, because so many destinations have suffered with the lockdown, and it's all about mindfulness, sustainability, and giving back as well. So if there aren't any more questions, Donovan, I think we can wrap up. We'll also share the results from the poll, but thank you all so much. Hopefully some of you will sign up for virtual fam trip. And if you aren't getting our newsletter at the moment, please email us at mail@visitjamaica.com and join our subscription for the Feel the Beat newsletter, which is all about what's happening in Jamaica, some fun and interesting stuff, and updates from the team. Shanika is launching Repping with the Jamaicans, which you may have seen on our Facebook page, which is an opportunity to get to know us, myself, Donovan, and Shanika a little bit better. It won't be us in our JTB branded shirts. It will be us doing things you never knew we did. Good things. But until then, thank you so much, everybody. Really appreciate you joining us. And we will be doing this weekly going forward and hope to have you join us again. So thank you very much.